Steve, by the way, and it's nationwide search, and you land in Stephenville. Man, that's how about that? You find Justin Carrigan in Stephenville. What were you doing in Stephenville, Justin?
Offensive coordinator at Tarleton State. Been there for the past 5 years.
So is your coaching experience is predominantly in an offense?
Yeah, my 10 years in college have all been on the offensive side, and then as a player at Angelo State, I was a safety. Mm-hmm. So, oddly enough, when I started coaching, my first job was as a receivers coach, and I never looked back from there. One day I said, the offensive coordinators become head coaches a lot faster than the defensive coordinators. There was a trend happening.
Yeah.
I said, man, I'm just going to stick on this side of the ball if I can. So
yeah.
I was blessed.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Well, that's cool.
Great.
That is cool. Now you've been coaching
10 years.
10 years, and we were talking coming in because I can see benefits and to taking the time that you need to get your team together, because you're hired certainly a year before there's ever going to be a football team. I guess before there's going to be a practice, for that matter, right?
Well, we'll practice in the fall. Right now we have just over 30 commitments that are going to join us in August. Mm-hmm. We won't do it 2-a-days this year. We'll just get going right before school starts, and we're just going to try to keep them, engaged for a year.
I'll start to say, how are you going to keep kids motivated for this for a year? What's the plan, Coach?
You got to give them a little bit of ownership.
We're already grilling him here.
Yeah, you got to give them a little bit of ownership to where they are building something, and they're going to have ownership because it's going to be their program. This first class, you're going to have just out of the 30-plus kids we have committed right now, there's only a couple of them that are going to transfer in. So you're looking at right now an abundance of freshmen. They're going to come in as captains. Mm-hmm. Well, as an 18-year-old kid, he's got to have some ownership of building this whole program from the ground up, and they're obviously the foundation of it all. Mm-hmm. And so it's trying to make them feel like they have ownership, feel like they have a part of the process where they're more engaged with what's going on, and it'll keep them in tune to the future, because we're just going to be banging each other's heads for a year.
Yeah.
And so for them, it's going to be we have to be creative, that they can see the end of the tunnel, they can see that light.
Sure.
And that they know that there's going to be a reward to it. And for them, it's being the captains of the ship.
Are you engaged in recruiting right now?
We are, yeah.
Part of the process.
Yeah.
And so you're recruiting predominantly in the state of Texas, I presume?
We are. That's where our presence is right now. I have 3 assistants with me that have done a phenomenal job to get us to this point, to have 30-plus commitments. We got kids committed right now from South Texas in the Valley, down by McAllen, a couple of schools down there, as far east as Hemp Hill, which is almost Louisiana.
Yeah.
The Syntex area, Gatesville, Waco, Abilene, all the surrounding, Midland, Lee, Odessa, Andrews, El Paso.
Good representation here in the Permian Basin?
Great representation here, yep. Yeah. And we're excited about those guys and everybody else that's coming. And we've gotten to the point now where we're pretty much at the end of recruiting our first class.
Yeah.
There's a few guys out there that there's a guy out in Hawaii we're looking at, and a guy in California right now.
Oh, that's great.
And they didn't ask you to be a walk-on.
No, neither will he.
Or at any level, yes, sir.
Yeah, have you had existing students already enrolled in the university have come to you and say, hey, I want to try out, hey, I want to play?
Yes, and right now we're in the process of working out the legalities of having a tryout for the on-campus kids. Mm-hmm. We're looking at April 17th as the date, so we got approval from administration yesterday that everything's good to go with that. So now it's just a matter of having the facility set and be able to have an area where we can run them around and at least check their athleticism.
Checking out any basketball players for wide receivers.
Yeah, I ask Coach Newman all the time. Man, he's got some good-looking guys out there.
Yeah. There's one guy I have in class that's really, really tall from London.
Okay, yeah. You're talking about,
yeah. So,
tell me, Justin, what? So, I guess you ordered uniforms yet? What's going on here?
No,
what's the real price? What's the real deal look like?
The biggest deal is the players.
Yep.
And I always say, anytime that people ask, they look at your resume or the numbers, the first thing you always got to do is give credit to the guys that made those plays. Mm-hmm. As a coach, we're nothing more than just the organizer of it all. But the athletes make the plays. So right now, the most important thing to me is those guys.
Yeah.
everything else, there's just tools to the trade. Whether it be a pretty locker room, a nice weight room, whatever brand your uniform is, that has nothing to do with wins and losses. You got to have the Johnnies and the Joes in your program. That's number one most important.
It's not on you. I mean, you're a coach, so you've got winning on the mind, on your brain. But I mean, you're coming into an area here, and Steve will tell you this. I'm sure you know Odessa, Permian, football, Lee, high school. This is like it used to be the Little Southwest Conference, what they used to call it. Because football is just pretty doggone important to folks out here. And to bring in a new level of football like this, has got to be some challenges behind that for you to look into.
Yeah, there's challenges in starting anything, but being out here, that you couldn't be in a better place, especially when you talk about support. People out here are fired up about football. They have been forever, and so they're excited to be a part of the growth and the process of starting this program. One of my first hires was bringing a guy on who graduated from Odessa Permian, Chris Minio, and played at UTEP. And it was important for many other reasons, but it was important to have Chris out here to be a part of this because this is home for him. This is where he grew up. This is where he played. So he already understands the landscape out here. But you couldn't be in a better place to start college football.
Yeah. Have you already made contact with all the local high school football coaches?
Yeah, I did that long before I ever got the job. Coaching in Texas for 10 years, and everybody across the country recruits Texas.
Sure.
So I'm blessed in the fact that I've been recruiting Texas for 10 years in the sense that I've been here. And then I also played in the conference, and I grew up Texas high school football. So I already knew half of them anyways.
Yeah.
You know, heading west. So it was just more of a reintroduction.
Are there players from your former team that you're scouting? Can you say that? They're not listening.
Well, they might be.
No, they're far away. They're not listening.
There's NCAA legalities that the way you can't say.
Okay.
But we will have some more signees.
Is that why there's three guys out front with the suits?
Well, yeah.
The lawyers. We have lawyers to get the coach of the football team.
We do have some more signees that are going to be posted on our website once we get the paperwork in.
And I'm sure we don't have a schedule, but do we know the schools?
No, we actually already have a conference
schedule
for 16 and 17.
Okay. So who are we going to be playing? Who are we going to see?
Well, at the risk of forgetting somebody, we'll be participating in the Lone Star Conference.
Okay.
We're actually going to be a full member of the conference in 16.
Okay.
So originally we were going to play football with them, but we actually have joined as a whole department. So
great.
in 16 we'll